Angus cattle, known as Aberdeen Angus in most parts of the world, are a breed of cattle commonly used in beef production. They were developed from cattle native to the counties of Aberdeenshire and Angus in Scotland. Angus cattle are naturally polled and solid black or red, although the udder may be white. The native colour is black, but more recently red colours have emerged. The UK registers both in the same herd book, but in the US they are regarded as two separate breeds: Red Angus and Black Angus. Black Angus is the most common breed of beef cattle in the US, with 324,266 animals registered in 2005. In 2014, the British Cattle Movement Service named Angus the UK's most popular native beef breed, and the second most popular beef breed overall. History: Scotland. Aberdeen Angus cattle have been recorded in Scotland since at least the 16th century in the country's northeast. For some time before the 1800s, the hornless cattle in Aberdeenshire and Angus were called Angus-doddies. In 1824, William Maccombie of Tilly 4MP for South Aberdeenshire began to improve the stock and is regarded today as the father of the breed. Many local names emerged, including Doddies or Humleys. The first herd book was created in 1862, and the society was formed in 1879. This is considered late, given that the cattle gained mainstream acceptance in the middle of the 18th century. The cattle became commonplace throughout the British Isles in the middle of the 20th century. Argentina. As stated in the fourth volume of the herd book of the UK's Angus, this breed was introduced to Argentina in 1879 when Don Carlos Guerrero imported one bull and two cows for his estancia Charles, located in Huancho, Partido de General Madariaga, Provincia de Buenos Aires. The bull was born on April 19, 1878, named Virtuoso 1626, and raised by Colonel Ferguson. The cows were named Antley 4697, raised by J. James, and Cinderella 4968, raised by R. Walker, and were both born in 1878, on January 31 and April 23, respectively. Australia. Angus cattle were first introduced to Tasmania in the 1820s and to the southern mainland in 1840. The breed is now found in all Australian states and territories, with 62,000 calves registered with Angus Australia in 2010. United States. On the 17th of May 1873, George Grant brought 4 Angus bulls, without any cows, to Victoria, Kansas. These were seen as unusual, as the normal American cattle consisted of shorthorns and longhorns, and the bulls were used only in crossbreeding. However, the farmers noticed the good qualities of these bulls, and afterwards, many more cattle of both sexes were imported. On the 21st of November 1883, the American Angus Association was founded in Chicago, Illinois. The first herd book was published on March 1885. At this time both red and black animals were registered without distinction. However, in 1917 the association barred the registering of red and other colored animals in an effort to promote a solid black breed. The Red Angus Association of America was founded in 1954 by breeders of Red Angus cattle. It was formed because the breeders had had the cattle struck off the herd book for not conforming to the changed breed standard regarding color. Germany. A separate breed was crossbred in Germany called the German Angus. It is a cross between the Angus and several different cattle such as the German black-pied cattle, Gelbvieh, and Fleckvieh. The cattle are usually larger than the Angus and appear in black and red colors. Characteristics: because of the native environment, the cattle are very hardy and can survive the Scottish winters, which are typically harsh, with snowfall and storms. Cows typically weigh 550 kilograms and bulls weigh 850 kilograms. Calves are usually born smaller than is acceptable for the market, so crossbreeding with dairy cattle is needed for veal production. The cattle are naturally polled and black in color. They typically mature earlier than other native British breeds such as the Hereford and North Devon. However, in the middle of the 20th century a new strain of cattle called the Red Angus emerged. The United States does not accept Red Angus cattle into herd books, but the UK and Canada do. Except for the color genes, there is no genetic difference between Black and Red Angus, but they are different breeds in the US. The cattle have a large muscle content and are regarded as medium-sized. The meat is very popular in Japan for its marbling qualities. Genetic disorders. There are 4 recessive defects that can affect calves worldwide. A recessive defect occurs when both parents carry a recessive gene that will affect the calf. 1 in 4 calves will show the defect even when both parents carry the defective one. The 4 recessive defects in the Black Angus breed that are currently managed with DNA tests are arthrogryposis multiplex, referred to as curly calf, which lowers the mobility of joints; neuropathic hydrocephalus, sometimes known as waterhead, which causes an enlarged malformed skull; contractural arachnodactyly, formerly referred to by the name of fawn calf syndrome, which reduces mobility in the hips; and dwarfism, which impacts the size of calves. Both parents need to carry the genes for a calf to be affected with one of these disorders. Because of this, the American Angus Association will remove the carrier cattle from the breed in an effort to reduce the number of cases. Between 2008 and 2010, the American Angus Association reported worldwide recessive genetic disorders in Angus cattle. It has been shown that a small minority of Angus cattle can carry osteoporosis. A further defect called notomelia, a form of polymelia, was reported in the Angus breed in 2010. Uses. The main use of Angus cattle is for beef production and consumption. The beef can be marketed as superior due to its marbled appearance. This has led to many markets, including Australia, Japan and the United Kingdom, to adopt it into the mainstream. Angus cattle can also be used in crossbreeding to reduce the likelihood of dystocia, and because of the dominant polled gene, they can be used to crossbreed to create polled calves. Commercial. During the later part of 2003 and the early part of 2004, the American fast food industry ran a public relations campaign to promote the supposedly superior quality of Angus beef. However, the first of these campaigns was run by Backyard Burger in 2002. Beginning in 2006, McDonald's commenced testing on hamburgers made with Angus beef in several regions in the U.S. After this test, the company said that customer response to the burgers was positive and began selling the burger made with Angus beef in all U.S. locations in July 2009. In response to the test in the US, McDonald's Australia began selling 2 Angus burgers, the Grand Angus and the Mighty Angus, using Australian-bred Angus in the restaurants. The American Angus Association created the Certified Angus Beef standard in 1978. The purpose of this standard was to promote the idea that Angus beef was of higher quality than beef from other breeds of cattle. Cattle are eligible for Certified Angus Beef evaluation if they are at least 51% black and exhibit Angus influence, which include black Simmental cattle and crossbreds. However, they must meet all 10 of the following criteria, which were refined in January 2007 to further enhance product consistency. In order to be labeled Certified Angus Beef by USDA graders, modest to higher degree of marbling, medium or fine marbling texture, A. Maturity, 10 to 16 square inch ribeye area,
less than 1,000 pound hock carcass weight, less than 1 inch fat thickness, moderately thicker mussing, no hump on the neck exceeding 5 centimeters, practically free of capillary rupture, no dark cutting characteristics, usually black or red in color.